As you can see behind me, I'm putting together a video. I recorded this video last year, but I never posted it, and I want to post it now, so I'm making a new introduction for it. It's a video about why I exercise, the causes, and the purpose, but most importantly, it's a video about my mental health and my mental health journey. I'm gonna make this video in English because I want to make it accessible to everyone, and I have some English-speaking followers, so it feels fair. Hope you enjoy it. I know that there's a lot of people out there who are talking about mental health, and I know that there's a lot of people who had it a lot worse than what I had, but I'm gonna talk about it anyways. But I'm not really gonna talk about how I felt. I'm gonna be bold, and I'm gonna present a solution. To talk about this, I'm gonna back the tape a bit until I was in gymnasiet or high school. I, as many others, tried to keep up this kind of facade to fit in socially, I guess. I never really fit in with the culture of partying and alcohol and so on, so I kind of strived to find it in other areas, and I guess there were 3 places I did find it. The first of all was actually with my grades. I started to studying a lot, and I realized that I was pretty good at math and physics, and I could keep up with the best student in the school, so I could kind of compete with them, which I always loved, I guess. But it put a strain on me, and I was also kind of a dick about it. I will get back to it. Then I also kind of found the validation in watching football, AIK, and with my friends around that, and then also about playing football. So that was kind of what I was up to during that time. And when I competed in school, as I talked about with other students, I was kind of a nail in the eye. I was a bit of a dick about everything, because I'm gonna say that people weren't too nice to me either, but I could handle it better probably, because I kind of, at the same time as getting good grades, I also tried to keep up this social facade, and I kind of bragged about it and kind of bragged about getting better grades to the people that were mean to me, I guess. And I guess in that situation you should try to be the better person, but at the same time it kind of kept up my grades and kept up my grit. And as you can guess, it wasn't too good on my mind. I was on overdrive for probably 2 years, and I didn't really realize it at that time, but it put a lot of strain on me, and I even got a lot of complications about how stressed I was during that year. Some of you might know that I got a tumor in my finger, and that was probably because I was very stressed during those years. I then got to KTH, and I didn't really know what to expect when I got there. My expectations were that I would be one of the worst, and that I would have to study a lot to keep up. So I did that. I even stopped playing football, and it went good for a few months, and then it kind of, my motivation started to declining. I didn't mind it too much. I thought a lot of other things were fun. I was playing more guitar and, more video games, and kind of, okay, school is not going that great, but whatever. Kind of continued like that. I didn't pass all my courses, but it wasn't the worst. But then after the first year, a lot of my friends quit. We were a few left for the autumn of 2019, and for half a year we kind of continued to struggle as we have done. And then they also quit after half a year. So to the spring of 2020, I was kind of alone from the friends group I've had. And as you all know, that's when COVID started. So we had home studies, or studies on distance. And this meant that I was sitting at home with no course mates and no people to study with. And actually I didn't mind it, because as before, I thought it was fine. I could play guitar and I could play video games, and it was all right. And after 2 years, I started to reflecting a bit about the situation. I realized that I didn't feel like myself at all. I had lost all my grit and all my motivation, and I didn't have any dreams and hopes, and I kind of started to losing my appreciations of things as well. But it continued. I didn't really know what to do about it. And I started thinking that I was in the wrong field and that I needed to do something else, which is a topic for another time. But these thoughts that made me really anxious, and I got a lot of anxiety from feeling like I should be doing something else. And I guess that is kind of an easy way out of your mental struggles. It could also be that you should change field, of course, but I don't think it was that for me. Alright, so I'm back from the future here, and I just want to point out that after 2 years at KTH, I was almost 1 year behind already. And I guess I kind of had this depression which made me unable to see that I needed to do something about this situation, otherwise it would become a major problem. During the autumn of 2020, I was a bit lucky because I had some friends starting going to the gym, and I kind of joined them. And I was just there because they were there, and it was a good social thing to do, and I thought it was pretty fun. But I don't know how much I managed to keep up the motivation for that, but at least I think it made me feel like I wanted to play more football. I guess it made something with my mind. So I applied for a football team, KTH FC, where I play now, and I started playing there, and I started both working out and playing football, and the spring of 2021 actually went a lot better. I was lucky, and I ended up in courses with people I knew. Even though they weren't in my class, I knew them, so I could study with them, and everything kind of sorted itself out during that spring, and it was a lot better. And then during that summer, I kind of felt like I need to keep this grit. I don't know how to do it. I need to keep up my motivation now and do something good about this. So I kind of took some help to sort out all my thoughts. And when I speak about this now, you might think it's really obvious that the only times I have been happy is when I have been practicing and exercising. But it is just that it's not obvious until you talk about it. Life continues, and at least I have things I strive for all the time, even if it's not exercise or school or something that will be productive, I guess. I still strive for other things, and I don't really realize how much training means to me. And during that summer, I decided to start going to the gym kind of religiously. I went to the gym 5 times a week, 45 minutes per time, and I just did it. And then I went home and I studied, and I kind of tried to improve my social life and so on as well. And it was great, and I felt great for the whole autumn. Before, I had kind of felt, when the darkness started coming, I felt kind of down. But for the first time ever, I kept my motivation throughout the winter. And then during the spring, Simon asked me if I wanted to do a Svensk Klassiker, which is what I'm doing now. And it didn't take much more than a question to convince me to want to do it. So that's why I train. And that was my way out of being down and having a lot of anxiety. I also have some ideas about why exercise makes you happy, like in a more biological way. And if I get 100 million likes on this video, I will give away the secrets to eternal happiness. Or you can just purchase this book by Hansen. It's in Swedish, it's called Depphjärnan, and it's unbelievably good. Even though I knew most of these things when I read it, he explains them so easy and so well that you don't even have to trust him. You believe him in what he says. And you don't only know the things, you also understand them. And I can really, really recommend this book. It's great.